Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be a bit of a pre-lockout discussion round 26 video. We're going to go through, we'll just go through any sort of updates, any sort of, still looking, like I got 2 trades left. If you've got a couple of trades left, we'll look at some pod options, or not even, they don't even necessarily have to be huge pod options. If you can bring in a guy like mainly in the center wing, you could still be like 20% owned, but if you can bring in one of those high upside guys, then it's still going to be a potential big swing. So we'll have a look at how we're shaping. Latest update. So I don't think we've heard much more about Nico Hines. I haven't seen it anywhere. Payne Haas, the latest is he's firming. He is firming to play, which, again, it's good that we got a bit more update. Like, he was spotted at training, looking pretty fresh, pretty fit, because I do need to know. I mean, again, it's not the biggest issue in the world. Like, if for whatever reason we end up starting Payne Haas over Liam Henry, who's going to score like 40, and then Payne Haas drops out, you know, it is what it is. It's not ideal, but it's not the worst case scenario. So if that happens, it happens. But hopefully we should know if Payne Haas is playing before that game kicks off. But yeah, honestly, it'd be so good, dude. We need a little bit of luck in these last couple of rounds, man. We just need a little bit of something going our way. And the Payne Haas coming back would be huge. You know, not expecting like 80 plus from him, but if he can bang out like 60 points, just solid, I'd be very, very content with that. Anything else of note? Not really. I'm still, I gotta be honest, I'm still half expecting that Laurie may come into this side late for like Dylan Edwards. It's very wishful thinking, but again, I just don't, like, Edwards has not looked fit the last couple of weeks. Now, it's still a tricky one for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I really, like, the Nico Hines one is obviously a little bit more contentious if he's going to come in or not. And again, if he's confirmed, then I definitely bring him in. But the fact that Laurie could play fullback next week, it's tempting. Like, if they rest Edwards, if he plays 5'8", but yeah, if only Galvin was fucking dual halfback. If Galvin was dual halfback, I could swing him and Brown around. It would be so good. I'd be able to just work around that so comfortably. But unfortunately, not the case. So we'll have to just, again, keep an ear out for what's going on with Nico. Also, if somehow Laurie comes into the team late, I'd be ecstatic, but we'll see. Very wishful thinking. But also, I did see one comment. Someone asked Lomax or Val Holmes for VC. That's a tough one. Lomax plays. Okay, so Lomax is good for a VC because you can still, like, if you have Teddy or Kalen Ponga, you just chuck the captaincy on them, which I think is ideal. I'd probably lean towards Lomax. The Storm team is definitely, like, it's definitely weak, but it's still going to be tough, I would imagine. And I just like Lomax. I just think Lomax is probably, I don't know. That's a real flip of the coin, that one, because Lomax has only really had one high ceiling game where he went absolutely massive. He's been really consistent, but he hasn't had like too many like massive scores. Val Holmes, though, again, he's like similar, but I do think Holmes, he's had a couple more, like, past that, like, 120 threshold, right? I mean, to start the year, he was killing it. Like, a 108, 144, very consistent, 136, a 104, 136, 145. Like, I just think Holmes probably has the higher upside as a whole. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. That's a flip of the coin. I can't say either way, honestly. I'd probably lean towards Holmes just because he's in my team, but Yeah, it is what it is. Also, so I won't forget. You know what? Let's have a look at it now. I apologize. I apologize. Every time, like, I start the leagues up and people participate, and it's always a bit of fun. But genuinely, I always fucking forget to, like, look at the leagues and how we're going. So I apologize for people that join the leagues and want to know sort of updates and whatnot. But yeah, I'll try it, like, next year, or in the BBL. I'm gonna try to do BBL properly this year, and if I do leagues, I'll definitely try to update them a bit more often. I just always forget. And I saw a comment to remind me, because usually I get a couple of comments throughout the year, like, how's the leagues going? But we'll have a quick squiz, because so the public league I don't really care about. That's fine. I am in beers and break evens. How am I going in that? I'm 1600 overall out of 13. I mean, it is what it is. So how is our number one league doing? Obviously, I was knocked down in this one. How did this one go? How do we even look at this properly? Oh, this is like the actual... Okay, so, I mean, 176 people joined my league, which is pretty solid. How's the top guy, how's the top guy doing? Bear Crody still. What's he on? 29,919. Overall rank, he's sitting 202. I mean, we got a couple of high echelon players here. Top is Toilets. 225. Had a couple of down weeks, so they lost a few ranks. Had 1550 for Rutroll. He's up in the 955 overall. Pretty solid. This league I guess doesn't have a, because it's like an open league. Yeah, that's right. So it doesn't have, like, head to head. So let's have a look. And our first, like, head-to-head league. How have we gone? Again, I haven't really looked at it. We finished third. The Fido solution was number one. Rachel Studs come in second. So it was a 2v3. I just scraped that win. It was a couple... I mean, I should have kept up today, because there's a couple of good wins here. 1315 to 1281. Fuck, 1280 to 1277. Oh my goodness, look how close they are. Fucking hell. 1208 going down to 1215, and then I scraped by 30 points. So that moved me straight into, I guess, the prelim. Or is that what it's called? Fuck, I don't know. Round 24, we saw Travis taking on Josh. Josh with a massive 15-13 to win that one. And then Friendship versus Rachel Studs. Friendship just got up in that one. Then we had myself, again, just getting the chocolates over Josh, Salty Mofos, by 40 odd points. And that's a rough one. Friendship just beating Ryan, the Fido solution, by 4 points. Wow. So I'm in the grand final this week against Alexander. And then this league, how do we go here? Did I not even make the top 8 in this one? Was I even in the league? Where am I? I'm very confused. I come 17th? What the hell? I come 17th in this league. How? I mean, that's what's crazy about what's it called, right? Fucking head to head. You, like, it's just, if you're not, like, focusing on head to head, like, I come 17th in the league. I I didn't even get in like the secondary finals. Wow, that's crazy. But let's have a look at how do the top guys go. So, again, very close. Very close. 3 points winner there for the number 1 seed, Poplar Preachers, beating the Beef Man. Angus, which is very funny, Angus Beef. That's, I don't know. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but it's pretty good. LA Knight, he trounced Sully Nooney Mahiki. Then we had Kickers beating Borg's Bastards by, again, not a whole lot. And then a very tight one here. Rachel Studs, you're not meant to join 2 leagues, but you lost both. You lost in both. So, yeah, that's crazy. So Rachel Studs came 3rd in both leagues and both times got eliminated. You know, that's a little bit of karma for joining both leagues, but that's okay. Angus with a good win over LA Knight there. Kickers beating Rachel. Angus just beating Joel. And then Sai just beating Poplar Preachers. So it's Kickers, Sai versus the Beefman Angus. Very, very tight contest. Very tight contest overall. Very exciting. I mean, I'm curious to see Friendship. How's I'm not really gonna play for the head-to-head win, but I'll have a look at his team. He's in a bit of trouble with the dummy half spot, so he's got no dummy half. He might have a trade, I'm not too sure. He's got Joey Tarpany, big. He'll have... Okay, so obviously took a loop last week with... who do you have? Okay, yeah, vice captain on Tommy, fair enough. He's got Terrell May, he's got Sam Hughes, so he's got cover in the front row. Obviously, Terrell May's been a bit of a bum, so I'd probably lean towards playing Sam Hughes. Just, I don't know, that's a tough one. Nah, you'd probably go Terrell May, surely. Hargraves is out again, so you'd probably go Terrell May. He's got Crichton for Feeder, Olikawatu, Katoa Furmore, Ben Trebojevic, so I've got 1 extra in Nickera in that department, so he won't have Eli Katoa. D. Brown, Cleary, so he might have a trade. Surely he has a trade if he's still got Cleary. Then he's got Cameron Munster, Jaden Campbell. A couple of big pod 5'8s there. Haven't quite hit their straps the last couple of weeks, but could go big this week. Then he's got Kiraz, To'o, also a very dangerous player. Dom Young, Garrick, Holmes, Mulatalo. That's a bit of a kick in the dick that he's out again. Case McLean, and then Tommy and Kalen Ponga instead of Tedesco. Okay, so I mean, this honestly, this matchup is actually very, very interesting and exciting potentially, because yeah, I've got Tedesco over Ponga. I've got what's my team again? I don't have To'o. Who have I got? I've got Kiraz, Young, Garrick. I've got Iro. So I've got Iro over Mulatalo, and I've got another gun. Who is it? Oh, fuck, I don't know. 5'8s are very different. Obviously, I don't have any 5'8s. He got 2 pod 5'8s. He should have a trade, so we'll see what happens. And then we have Nickera over Ben Trebojevic. And also the front row is a little different. I got Payne Haas, hopefully plays. And I've got a dummy half. So, yeah, interesting matchup. It could be anyone's game, that. So let's go have a look at players now, because I want to have a look at, I guess what players to look at bringing in. So, I mean, honestly, fullbacks, if you've got a bunch of trades, I still don't hate the idea of trading like Tommy Trebojevic to Kalen Ponga this week. Or you could wait for next week, because Tom, depending how results go, Manly might not be able to move up or down in that final game. So you never know. Manly could rest a couple of players. Then Tommy to Kalen Ponga could be huge if you got a trade left. So that's why I definitely want to save at least. Well, I'm going to save 1 trade for the final round as it stands now. But it's only really Ponga. I know Dylan Edwards with the goal kicking back, but he's just, I don't know. He's not looking, I would rather the other 3 guys. Centre wing is very important. So, Zach Lomax is still, he's still very tempting. I can't bring him in I just can't until potentially next week if we have like no other fires to put out and I just want a high upside guy. But yeah, take you on the Eels this week. It could be a big win. I mean, I feel like the Eels still have a good side, but their edge defensively is just really, really shocking. So, you know, Lomax is probably going to score well. He's been very, very consistent. I mean, 81, 95, 73. I mean, even before that, 69 against Penrith, 59 against the Storm, 30 against the Roosters, definitely an outlier. But yeah, like I said, the only real... I mean, he scored a ton. Another ton, basically, 112. And then the 170, definitely an outlier. But hasn't quite gone big like Holmes. I mean, he's got a bigger score, granted, but... he hasn't consistently gone like 120 plus. He's been mighty consistent though. So very, very scary, Zach Lomax this week. And then he's got Canberra next week, so also a good matchup. So if you got a trade, I still love the Lomax pickup. Jesse Ramien out suspended. That's a definite that's a kick for people that went pottish on Ramien. He's been very, very good. Dane Gagai, oh man. I mean, if you had the choice between Gagai and Lomax, I mean, I still think you go Lomax, right? Like, I just... Gagai has been great, but Lomax just with the goal kicking, I'd probably prefer Lomax over Gagai, but Gagai is more poddish. It's just the fact, like, is he actually going to score that many more points than Lomax to warrant the pod? Maybe. Brian To'o also... I mean, he's under 700k now. He's a pretty good price to snatch up, but, you know, again, it's just a matter of like a rest. Like, you'd hate to bring in To'o this week and then he's out for next week against the Titans, and it could definitely happen. I don't know. Someone like a To'o, I just, again, if you got more than like 2 trades, if you got like 3 or 4. I would definitely be going like a To'o or a Lomax or even a Gagai if you want to go crazy. And then if, To'o gets rested or whatever, then you still have a trade to go him to somebody else of high upside ability. Daniel Tupou, don't love. I mean, you've already missed out on his big score. Like, it's every chance that they're going to go right this week instead of left. So I wouldn't be banking on Tupou going huge again. Anyone else of note? I mean, Herbie's just been really solid, but not really at the high ceiling. Any smokies? I mean, Dylan Luke is back into the second row for the last couple of rounds. You know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to get with Lucas. He is a lot cheaper. And he's probably going to bang out 70 points. So it's not the worst. I'm hoping he stays pretty cheap for next year, because he should still have the dual centre wing tour because he's played a bunch of centre this year. So hopefully he stays cheap for next season. He'll be like an automatic pickup. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Katoni Staggs, like, you can. I don't mind like a pot on Katoni this week. Like, just up against the Dolphins, you know he's gonna be fired up. He only has a couple of big ones in him a year, and I think this week could be it. Again, I think Katoni's a guy that you could go for that pod play this week, and then if the Storm are fully back next week, you could trade him out to somebody. You know, again, this is if you got luxury trades. Like, obviously, if you got 2 trades left, I definitely wouldn't do that. But if you got a couple of trades left, don't hate it, or like multiple. Selwyn Cobbo also is tempting. Playing on the wing is tackle busting. He was looking pretty good. I don't know. It's a good matchup. Again, multiple trades. I don't hate the pod of him. Bradman Best, actually. Okay, so this is a guy I was keen to see the price of. So he is expensive, but Bradman Best at no one owns him, obviously. 2.9%, but that's like, it's way less than that. It's just people that have given up on Supercoach because he hasn't played in ages. I love the potential best play. Like, taking on the Titans and then Dolphins. He's shown this year, like, he started out shaky, but he got into his groove. He started being pretty consistent. He showed some high ceiling. Obviously, injury risk is a worry coming back from that hemi again, but it's a couple of great matchups. Like I think out of a pod option, I actually prefer Best over Gagai, just because, like, I feel like with Best being out, the Knights have definitely focused way more of their attack on the right-hand edge, which is fair. They've had like a back rower on the left-hand side, but with Best coming back into the side, like him and Ponga's combo, Ponga back in form, I can just see him going crazy to end the year. So I can't do it. I don't think I can do it because, again, if we look at my team, I've got 2 trades left, right? Every position is like fine. It's just the fact that I do think Hines is the number 1 target if he's back. So there's 1 trade gone, and then I guess next week I could bring in a Bradman Best, because I'm like the plan this week is using 1 trade if Hines is back. If Hines isn't back, if Hines does not come back this week, like I don't really want to trade Laurie to like any other 5'8" halfback, honestly. Like I could take the AE. I could take the AE hit and just get a free loop if if Val Holmes goes massive. That's definitely an option, and then I have 2 trade. Like I could then use the trade to get in Bradman Best, but I probably wouldn't do it this week. Like I could trade Casey McLean to him, but I think the best case is just wait till next week and have 2 trades to go bang bang and bring in like two real upside guys. If To'o's he's still playing against the Titans, I think that's fucking great. If Lomax, Bradman Best, any of these guys look really good, or any other matchups that look very juicy with restings. So yeah, basically Hines back, I'm going him. I just, again, he might not go massive, but I think he is the one guy that if you're chasing some points, I think Hines is the way to go. And then if he's not, I'm probably leaning towards just taking the hit, taking the AE on our 5'8". I don't hate it. Casey McLean's out. Like it'll either be Brown, Fermor, Liam Henry. It's probably going to be Liam Henry or Brayley getting like 40 points. That's fine. That's honestly fine. Like it's not the worst thing in the world. Unless again, it could be a lot lower if someone gets like injured, but that's just how it looks on paper at the moment. So I might do that. It'd be fucking beautiful if Payne Haas is back, because then I don't have to worry about the front row as much. But if Haas is not back, then I guess I just play Henry, and then I'll probably just get Brayley's AE score. So it works out not too bad. So yeah, if Hines is back, we trade him in. If not, we probably do save our 2 trades for the final game, or for the final round, and chase some high upside players and hope for some mass restings. That'd be beautiful. And in that case, we also get to keep Dane Laurie, who could find himself back into that Panthers side if they rest players, which I would love to fucking do. I would love to do it. So I'm a bit torn on what I want. Do I actually want Nico Hines to come back? I don't know. It makes it easier if I just don't worry about it. But if Hines is back, like, you just have to go him. You just have to, in my opinion. And then yeah, I was still tempted to potentially trade Brown out instead of Laurie, but no. Like, if you got the option to play to not get the AE, I think you got to take it. Like, worst case scenario, we could use our final trade if Laurie comes back in at fullback. We could just bring Laurie back in next week. So that's what that trade is for. We shall see what happens. Anything else to really talk about? Not really. I mean, yeah, I have wasted 1 boost. That's fine. I think I think looking back at the year, I think what I'm going to do for like future seasons is really look at like the last round of the season. And obviously a lot's going to happen in the meantime, like injuries and whatnot, but just look at the final round of the season, because if I looked at this year, right, like some of the matchups, like Broncos Storm, that's a big rivalry game. Like on paper, you'd look at that and be like, are they going to rest a bunch of players for such a big game? Maybe not. Obviously, if you looked at it, you'd be like Parramatta West, you'd be like, oh, you got to target Parramatta players. That's a beauty. But as the season's going on, you're like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So it's not going to be clear cut. But then you got South Roosters, also a big grudge match. Dragons Canberra, you know, pretty mid off there. Not too many high upside guys. Manly Sharks, like a lot of games that, I mean, Penrith Titans, you'd be like, target that, but just have a quick look to see if you actually need to save a boost for that final round. Again, it's not going to be like 100% do or don't, but I think potentially using those boosts early to really try to get ahead of the curve. Is it the way to go? Probably. I mean, it probably was this year. It doesn't mean it's always going to be the case, but I think this year especially, using the boost nice and early to just get in the players that were going well and just hold them, it's probably the way to go. But you know, I saved a couple of boosts. The last one we used definitely paid off, but we are wasting a boost that could have been useful. But it is what it is. Like that, you know, there's no clear cut way to sort of know if it's going to come back to bite you or be a huge benefit. You got to play it by ear. So yeah, we'll probably have a better look at the draw next year to see any major matchups we would be like even like considering targeting for that final boost, but. That's a long way off, but just one little note about sort of the boost and whatnot. Again, I hope... There's been a lot of talk lately about, like... I don't know if it's come from Supercoach, but a lot of, like, creators have sort of started to say, like, they have to implement some sort of concussion, like, AE into the system, which I do fucking agree with. Like, there's got to be something, like, just, like... There's enough randomness, there's enough bullshit in Supercoach. You don't need the extra randomness of like a player playing 2 minutes, scoring 1 point instead of 0, and you copies 1 point instead of getting an AE. Like there has to be some sort of solution to like a concussion or an injury early on in the game, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they at least think about it. But yeah, it is what it is. But overall, I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with this week going forward. Again, it's going to be a big watch. I was fucking, dude, I gotta remember to change the thing. I was looking at this like, oh, Broncos play first. Oh, no, Payne Haas. No, you idiot. You're in round 27. I was like, wait, what's going on? No, yeah, Broncos. Hopefully Payne Haas is back. But he is firming. So there's not much else to really discuss. If you have any more questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer them in the comment section. But hopefully we finish the season off strongly. Hopefully we all have a good couple of rounds to finish. And I don't know if it's possible, but if we can have a sniff of getting into that echelon of top 1K, it would be a fucking huge effort. Because like again, some of the diabolical nature of this season has cursed us, but I think we've done a good job. Honestly, I think we've done a pretty good job, all things considered. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. We're coming to an end, but make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.